Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, continuing Shelby's route. We didn't read it, but we kind of know some spicy stuff happened last night. So anyway, the following morning, we continued to enjoy our vacation at Diamor Paradis. The bright morning sun woke us, and my gaze met Shelby's as he lay beside me. There he is, shirtless. Good morning. Good morning, Shelby. Each morning, Shelby's there when I wake and when I drift off to sleep, despite being used to it. Oh, wait. I think I'm angry at yawn, so... I was only a half yawn, but now I really have one inside. I slept so well, I bet. Me too. It's been a while since I had such restful sleep. We gotta work harder. The mattress, pillows, and blankets are all designed for the guest's comfort. Shelby's smile was gentle as he caressed my cheek and hand. Shelby had always neglected sleep. Even after we got married, he often stayed up late. That's why it meant so much to me that he had chosen to sleep in, and I hugged him tightly in response. That's great. You just woke up, right? Did you sleep well? Didn't he just say that he had a restful sleep in response to you saying you had a restful sleep? Yes, we stayed up late last night, remember? He's like, we stayed up late. Yeah, I bet you did. Shelby bashfully kissed my cheek as he reminded me. Indeed, we were up late. He hardly let me sleep at all. I ended up needing to take another rest. We even did it in the bathroom. He was relentless. Jesus! They went from, like, we stayed up late, remember? Oh, yeah, we did. And then it's like, we even did it in the bathroom. The man was relentless and just nailed me all night long. Like, girl! Like, we went from subtle to, like, not subtle at all. We didn't sleep until it was well past 2 in the morning. Me, same last night. Not for the same reasons. I was just watching TV. It's the first time Shelby was so persistent. Maybe it was the unique circumstances of our honeymoon that made him behave that way. Sorry, but you have a pin feather right here that's very gigantic. Oh, you're going to run away from me? No, you're not. You come back. You come back, Mr. Naughty Boy. Oh, no, he's not naughty. I know. Did you tell everyone what you did earlier? We were in your room putting clothes away. We left the birdie downstairs. Yeah, we did. And I thought you were going to try. I was at the top of the stairs and I was like, okay, hi. I'm like, all right, he's not coming. So I'm like, fine. So I'm in my room, I'm like putting clothes away, and every once in a while he's chirping downstairs calling to me, and I'm like, it's okay, you're fine, whatever, right? You know, doing whatever. And then all of a sudden, I hear him chirping again, and I'm like, that sounds a lot closer, and he flew to me before I could get a picture, but I take my phone out. He's just sitting up here. He found his way upstairs again. I'm like, you know what? Once you figured it out once, I should have known you'd be able to figure it out again. But he was like, you did not come back within 5 minutes. And I could, like, oh my God. So I'm like, I created a monster. So now the only way to keep you downstairs would be to, like, make sure the lights aren't on up here so that, like, you wouldn't fly in the dark. But of course, I mean, it's during the day, so he can see through the windows. Like, she's a beast. She's a beast. You were sitting on the pillow that's on the back of our chair. It's sitting up there. You're just sitting there like, why aren't you in your chair where we record stuff? This is where you sit. But I was in the bedroom. And it's a good thing you didn't fly in there because the fan was on it. And we have to be careful. You usually see the fan is on and go, oh, and you get all spooked. And then you don't want to fly, which is good because you shouldn't fly when the fan is on. Because it could hurt you. But we turned it off. But like when we're putting clothes away and we got all the different lights on in there, it gets very hot. Plus, my bedroom's over the garage, so it's always hotter than every other fucking room. Except for in the winter. But right now, it's kind of fucking gross. Anyway. Maybe it was the unique circumstances of our honeymoon that made him behave that way. Given that this was our very first honeymoon, it was certainly a reason to be excited. I mean, you say that like, it's just, sometimes the phrasing is a little awkward in this one. Like, it's our very first honeymoon, my very first my very first wife. Like we have multiple. Like, But this is our very first honeymoon. And you've only been married for 2 weeks. It's not like you've been married for like a year and you're finally taking a honeymoon. It's been 2 weeks. You know? I mean, I get it. It's a little delayed, but still, it's not that bad, you know? Overjoyed by his enthusiasm, I leaned in to return his kiss. We continued to tease and play like kittens in the lazy morning sunlight. Okay. Goodness. And you're too adorable, you know? Well, we're on our honeymoon. You don't mind, right? I love it. We hugged tightly and Shelby stroked my hair. His expression was different from when he was at work, softer and completely at ease. It's nice to spend time like this sometimes. I agree. It's wonderful. Yes, I feel so content right now. Squinting in the late morning sun, Shelby reached for his phone. And there you go. There you go. Because before he was close up, and now he's further away, so you get more. Did you want to oogle? There you go. I'll let you oogle. If you want to pause right now, you can pause so you can oogle for a while, okay? Good? Did you take screenshots if you wanted them? For anyone who's a Shelby stan, just there you go. Listen, I'm gonna do you favors, and it's not hurting me to look either, you know? Then he shook his head and set it back down on the bedside table. And believe it or not, it's actually hard for me to unwind completely. I feel restless without work. Well, that's what I'm here for, to give you something to work on. And by that I mean sleep with me a lot. Come on. I knew you'd say something like that. I'm sorry. I've never been off work this long. It's literally been a day. It's hard to shake the feeling that I should be doing something. You never change, but even you need to rest sometimes. I suppose so, but... Shelby still seemed uneasy, reminding me of conversations we'd had before we were married. When I asked him about taking a vacation, he said he would never stop until he achieved perfection. Even when he had time off, he claimed there was nothing he wanted to do. He preferred to dedicate that time to his company. Perhaps that was why he found it hard to rest. But now it was my job to ensure he relaxed fully. We're on our honeymoon, so you need to rest. Shelby, I know you haven't taken a break since we got married. It's true that my only time off has been for client receptions. That doesn't count as time off. I see. But until I met you, I thought I had plenty of rest. But now, I understand what it truly means to have a vacation. At that, we kissed, and I noticed his shoulders relax slightly. All right, I'll take this honeymoon to make up for the last few years. That's the spirit. We spent a bit more time playfully lounging in bed. We'd never spent a day off like this before. Shelby would usually wake early to check work emails, or we'd head to the kitchen to cook together. Oh, what do you want to do for breakfast? About that, and the email said breakfast will be provided by room service. From Mr. Omar, who invited us? Yes. According to the email, it should arrive around 9, so we still have time. What the fuck early did you get up? Okay. No need to cook, no work to do. I could play with Shelby in bed as long as I wanted. You know, I like that phrasing. Good job. The thought made me giddy. As we continued to laze about, there was a knock on the door. Room service, we have a delivery? It's here. Oh no, I need to get dressed. I hurriedly threw on a bathrobe and hopped back into bed. Come in. Excuse me, the thing is like, wouldn't your door be locked? Like, who the fuck just leaves their, hotel room door unlocked? From beneath the covers, I watched as the bellboy wheeled in a cart and skillfully set up our breakfast. You could have been like, open the door and I'll go jump in fucking the bathroom. Thank you for waiting. Champagne's included in your breakfast. Hell yeah, mimosas! Champagne? I peeked out from the blankets at the mention of champagne. Champagne for breakfast felt incredibly lavish. No, it just sounds like a good holiday. Here we have a salad of prosciutto and burrata cheese, salmon carpaccio, and poached eggs with caviar. I'm sorry, what? What? No, okay. It's not the champagne, it's all the rest of this. And the croissants and brioche are served with raspberry jam. Enjoy. With a bow, the bellboy cleared the empty cart from the room. As soon as the door closed, I bounded out of bed. Wow, this looks delicious. It looks excessive. I mean, I can't see it, so I'm just guessing. It sounds.
and it's quite a spread. Now I understand why they were so confident about their breakfast. But champagne, it's quite fancy. Did you mention to Mr. Omar that we're on our honeymoon? No, I just mentioned that I was coming with my wife. And perhaps he guessed that we were recently married. I'm gonna guess for, like, everything that happened, like Shelby coming out as single and whatever, and then you getting married, it's probably not a secret. This is not like, I mean, like, Ryuki is a famous designer, Raul's a Hollywood actor, Alan's the only one who's not, like, some famous, well, for the most part, famous around certain blocks, back alleys, maybe. But, like, Shelby being the president of, like, a big dating company, like, and the fact that everyone's like, oh my god, he's not married. Oh, and like that was such a huge scandal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the guy probably knows and read somewhere and probably, especially if he's thinking like, oh, hey, a business arrangement could be happening. He knows who runs Cupid Core and you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's just randomly inviting. Like, hey, I'm just going to invite some random people. He picked you for a reason to come here. And it was probably, hey, check out the place. I'll give him a free vacation. And then maybe we can work and it could be a business thing. You know what I mean? And then if he's investigating you or, researching your business to see if it would be a good fit for a partnership, he would know about you. That's what business people would do. They're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, that guy on the court sounds like a great business. No, you're going to do research into the business to see if it would fit your business and then the person running that business, because you're not going to get into business with somebody if you're like, oh, he murders puppies. Oh, hell no, I'm not getting involved in that unless you're like, hell yeah, I like murdering puppies too. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure that the business you're getting involved with isn't shady. And same with the owner, so he would have absolutely known you were married. Like, why do they just assume that we're all fucking stupid? You know what I mean? Like, they're like, I don't know, he must have just guessed. Maybe he figured, and it's like, no, I mean, he's a businessman, so he would have done proper research. So I get her asking, like, oh, did you tell him we were on our honeymoon? He's like, no, I said I was coming with my wife, but, he probably did research and could have easily found that information. You know what I mean? Like, that's just common sense. So, like, I don't know why they do that instead of, like, trying to hide it like it's a mystery so that later when we run in to meet Eli, right, and he's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I did research. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, what? Like, why? I don't understand why they would just, like, hide that, I guess? I don't know. It just seems weird. It just seems very baffling. Like, we're going to hide that he did research because we don't want you to think that it's for a business deal. But it's like, but I'm assuming it probably is. And if nothing ever comes of that, and it's just, no, it just happens to be, we just wanted him to go on a honeymoon, so we just threw in that they got random tickets. Like, oh, okay, fine. But, I feel like most people could see the connection. Like, oh, you're running Cupid Core, which is a matchmaking service, and this place is like all about lovers and stuff like that. So like, oh, it's a really good business deal. And Shelby's all about business, so I feel like that's a safe assumption, I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to like hide it so that it comes as a shock to you later when that's the obvious thing. Like Ryuki being like, yeah, Ray, watch me bang my future wife. That's the shocking part. But, like, this is not the shocking part. This is not what's going to shock us in this, Anyway. Speaking of which, the way the bed was made did look like it was prepared for honeymooners. Maybe they arranged it that way. It is the honeymoon suite. I mean, well, let's see. Yeah, let's. Although I have to say, maybe the only reason Shelby banged you in the fucking bathroom was because he didn't want to muss up the bed, because he didn't do a very good job boning you if there's still heart petals on the bed perfectly arranged like that. They're not even just in a heart shape. If you see them, there's a heart shape, and then there's an outer edge to the heart. So there's like petals in the shape of a heart, a little space, and then more so that is detailed, and you didn't even muss that shit up. So I'm just saying, Shelby, I don't know. I mean, you might have to get a negative for your sexual skills if you didn't, or you're just that good that we didn't mess up a single petal. I'm not really sure. Obviously, I'm kidding. Yes, lads, I don't know if I read that. I decided to start with some fresh squeezed juice, as champagne would get me tipsy too early. That's why you mix the juice and the champagne. If you put it in cranberries, like cranberry juice, it's like a poinsettia. At Christmas time, still basically a cranberry mimosa. Orange juice is your standard, all right. But any other juice mixed with champagne, basically a mimosa, right? This is delicious. It's so refreshing. I bet it's fresh squeezed. Next, I tried the croissant. Croissant. We're French. Croissant. It was warm and soft and tasted absolutely delicious. So, not like the Pillsbury ones that you pop out of the canister. Those are still delicious, but I bet these are real ones. This croissant is amazing. I know that that's technically the correct pronunciation, but if you are, one of my pet peeves is like, I realize that we bastardize and Americanize everything. We say croissant. That's not technically, if you're going and you're speaking French, you're not going to say speaking in French and then say croissant. You're going to say croissant because you're speaking in French and you're saying it with a French accent, right? But it's always weird when you have people who are like, I'm going to order a croissant. And it's like, why did you just throw out some French accented word when you... It's so weird to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know. It's just a weird thing. It's just a personal thing to me. I'm always like, that just bothers me. I don't know what it is. It's like if you were going to say a sentence and it had 5 different words from 5... all of English, basically, is 5 different words from 5 different languages. But then you accented them in an accent from each... Like, do you know how fucking bonkers you would sound? Like, it's... You can... Like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's I think it's because it's disjointing to me when I hear people talk, and then they're speaking, and then it's like they're talking about croissants, and then they just keep going. It's like, what the hell just happened? It's like another personality took over. Am I the only one? Like, I get it. It's a personal problem for me, but like, it's just disjointing, and I'm like, why? I don't know why. It's one of those things that like, you're like, huh? Stop. I don't know. There you go. You learn about little things that just like kind of make me feel uncomfortable. And it's not like, that's probably a weird way to phrase it, but it's just like, why? Why did you do that? Stop it. You know how like some people don't like it when you say moist? They're like, oh, it's an uncomfortable. It's not quite as bad as that, but it's still like, why? Why did you just throw in a random like French accented word or like German accented word? I don't know, it just sounds weird. It's not like you're talking like I'm in a lecture hall, so I'm pronouncing things. It's like you're just throwing it in there because, well, I'm going to say it properly so I look fancy. And it's like, well, no, you just sound weird. It sounds weird and like somebody possessed you for a hot second. And like, just me? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, God. You're right. And they are a French company, after all. So not opening the Pillsbury cans. Whatever. They're like fancy or whatever. Probably have French chefs making them. I think you're supposed to dip them in the croissants. See? It's just weird. Anyway, in the cafe au lait. I've heard it's a French custom. Really? Well, oh yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's like sticking your fries in your Frosty. You know, when you're at Wendy's. That's the whole point. I get it. That's the American version. Fries in your milkshake. I don't think I would ever stick fries in a normal milkshake, but your Wendy's fries and your Wendy's Frosty is just something that you've always found. That's you have to. It seems really weird when you say it out loud and you think about what you're doing, but you just do it because you're supposed to. You have to. It's a rule. I'm serious. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. The rich Mirabelle plum juice and other authentic flavors are quite something. Oh, we're having plum juice, huh? Oh, right. Omer Holdings is a French company. We're not giving them the trashy French accent, though. Yes, it's headquartered in... Is it... I'm sure it's not Lipon. It's Lipon? I don't know how to say that. I don't know French, dude. Never bothered learning it. Never a fan. We've had this conversation. I'm one of those weird people, like the romancy languages, where it's like Italian, French, and Spanish, and everybody loves those. Oh, French sounds so romantic. Not to me. I don't listen to French and go, oh, it's so romantic. I'm like, no, I don't like it. Like, I don't find it romantic sounding. But I think Japanese sounds really sexy. So, like, and I get most people don't feel the same way. People are like, what? So, like, it's just, that's why there's different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? You gotta have a different ear. You've gotta have different languages that appeal to different people. Otherwise, nobody would ever learn other languages. Everybody would just learn French because, quote unquote, it's sexy. You know what I mean? You know what? So it's like you gotta be like, no, I love the sound of German, or I love the sound of Russian, or you love the sound, like me, I love the sound of Japanese. Like, you could have somebody speaking to me in French, and I'm like, no, stop. I don't get it. I have no idea what you're saying. And then you have somebody reading, my grocery list in Japanese, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. It's sexy. Like, I don't know. That's just the way it goes. But, So I know nothing about anything French, and I don't know how to say any French words. But we learned this every time we play a game and there's French words or Italian words or any words that aren't normal English words that I'm used to saying. Or cities from other places. I don't know how to say them. And I say Paris, but that's not even right. It's Paris. But again, you sound ridiculous. You're, oh my god, yeah, we're going to go to Paris. We're going to Paris. Dude, you're a white American. Just say Paris. Anyway. Unless you're speaking it up. Your whole sentence is a French accent, then fine. But anyway. A historic city that's always been the center of trade in France. Good to know. Never knew that. Okay. If that's true. Actually, that might not be, because it might be a fake city. For all we know. I don't know if it's a real city. Lost York isn't real, and neither is Nos Vegas? What was it? What was Las Vegas in here? It wasn't Vegas, because that would have been like... Nos Vegans? Whatever it is. And they own hotels and restaurants, among other businesses, so they have a wealth of expertise. So that's why they're able to recreate authentic French croissants, even in Lost York. Yeah, they shipped in French chefs. Either way, it was delicious. I'd gladly spend the night there just to savor those pastries. I'm sure you can buy them somewhere here. The bed was made beautifully with flower petals, and the breakfast was luxurious. The overall experience was nothing short of exquisite. I still need to personally thank Mr. Eli Omar. You're right. As I enjoyed the breakfast, I decided to draft an official letter of thanks once we returned to the office. Oh, we're going to run into him. And we're going to cuckold fucking Shelby by banging him, aren't we, in the spicy red? Look, I just feel like that's... Okay. The flow of events so far, like, Maronese is kind of like in his own little bubble. Aside from introducing certain, like, places, like Crunch Canyon. And then us mentioning Crunch Canyon and Ryuki's route. Oh my god. Whatever. But like, in Ryuki's route, you meet Eli, right? You kind of, just in passing, so okay. Yeah, and he runs this place. But now in Shelby's, you're getting a little more lore about him. So, And maybe there'll be more lore later, but I just feel like, obviously, he's going to play a bigger part in this one than he did in Ryuki's route, After we finished our almost overly luxurious breakfast, we finished our morning preparations and decided to enjoy the jacuzzi we'd missed out on the night before. It does look like there is a pool outside in our patio. This feels good. As expected, the jacuzzi was wonderful. I'd only used the shower the night before, so I wanted to give it a try. It's kind of weird that we get up in the morning, eat our breakfast, get ready for the day, and then just hang out in our bathtub. I feel like that you go out, you do stuff, and then you come back to the hotel, and that's what you do to relax at night before you go to bed. I slid into the spacious tub and let the jets work their magic. What a nice view. Me? Yeah, it's a fantastic location, especially with this view of the ocean. Oh, I'm assuming we have a nice window bathroom. During the day, the view was impressive. The ocean was crystal clear from our vantage point in the jacuzzi on the terrace. Oh, okay, so it's more like a hot tub, not a bathtub. Not like a jacuzzi bathtub. It's a hot tub. Okay. The resort scenery made it easy to forget we were still in Lost York. Unable to resist, I started splashing the water like a child in a swimming pool, fully enjoying the view. Think about where you haven't been. Ask where you'd go later. I don't know what they mean by this. Is this think about where you haven't been in general? Like, oh, it'd be nice to go to Rome sometime or Greece or something. Like, is that what we're thinking about? Or are we thinking about... And same thing with ask where you'd go later. Like, where are we going to go on our next vacation? Or are we thinking about, like, here, we haven't been to the beach on the island yet. Is that what we're talking about? I would assume we're talking about on the island here. Like, so think about where you haven't been. I feel like we should just ask where you'd go later. Like, because thinking about it is one, like, but we should discuss it with Shelby. So I feel like discussing it with him would be better. Not that it matters. Ask where you'd go later. This must be the sweet choice then, because looking for dolphins was spicy. So where do we go today? Yeah, okay. Well, the places we didn't go yesterday are... As we continued to enjoy the jacuzzi, we discussed our plans for the day. After today's exploration of Diamor Paradis, we would return home that evening. Oh, so it's just like one night? That's our honeymoon? One fucking night? Huh. Shelby, being ever busy, could only spare 2 days for our honeymoon. But it felt as though we had made the most of it. Well, most of it last night. So that's why you're enjoying the jacuzzi now, because it's not like you're coming back to your room. Okay, makes sense. The room's so nice. How about we relax until lunchtime, then head to that restaurant? Sounds perfect to me. Sweet darling. Oh. All right, then it's settled. Shelby leaned back and relaxed in the jacuzzi with me. This really is such a wonderful hotel. The breakfast served via room service and the suite equipped with a jacuzzi were fantastic. The view from the terrace was breathtaking and the room's amenities were top-notch. No doubt, Diamor Paradis, newly built in Lost York, would be a hit among Lost Yorkers who couldn't afford to travel far. With such great weather, I knew it'd be a wonderful day. We lounged in our room until past noon. Just as we started to feel hungry, we headed to the restaurant. Woo, look at this place! The cool fish tanks and stuff. That is a giant motherfucking sea turtle. I don't know if those are supposed to be actual fish tanks or it's just art on the wall. Because it... You know what I mean? So, like... I would guess actual fish tanks. But yeah, man, Omar is like a lobster. What god anywhere is like symbolic of a lobster? I'm just, because it's like shaped like a pear and he's got a thing for lobsters. Is he like some kind of lobster god? Is he like Yusuke? Is he obsessed with lobsters? Is he like some kind of like merman who's like, but he's like more like Ursula, where instead of an octopus, he's a lobster? I'm just saying, they're lobster. Why is the lobster... Like, this would be one thing if it's like a seafood restaurant, sure, but it's like all over this place. So what's the deal with the lobsters? That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Inside the restaurant, the lighting had an aqua hue, and there was a fish tank integrated into the interior design. Okay, so it's a real fish tank. I look at the backgrounds and I don't read. And then I ask a question or I say something, and then it's literally in the text below it. I'm not cheating. It's not like I'm passing these thoughts off as my own when the game explains it right below. I'm just dumb and I don't read that first. Colorful fishes swim about. So those are real turtles. Those are fucking huge. Because if you think of you sitting in that chair that's right there, like, that turtle's massive! I know, it's just the sketch, or like the art, but still. What a wonderful decor. Yes, it's really unique. Wow, this fish with a two-tone purple and yellow is pretty. I wonder what it's called. I looked for a name tag around the tank, but heard a soft chuckle behind me, Eli. Oh, that's called a royal dottyback. The dottyback family has many variations. Ah. Oh, I see. Then what's that fish in the tank? That's a neon tetra. No matter which fish I pointed to, Shelby knew its name as if we were simply naming vegetables at a supermarket. Right, because he's got to be SS and everything, so he needs to know the name of every motherfucking fish in the sea. So why don't you know about Lobster Man? Just how I'm just making sure. Listen, weirder shit has happened in this game, so I'm just going with Eli is a fucking lobster. Elipster. That he is a merman and his mer form is a lobster. Impressive. Shelby knows so much, even about fish. I'm just really curious. After asking a few more questions, we chose a table next to the largest tank and checked the menu. What will you have for lunch? That neon tetra right there. I hope it's not a seafood restaurant. Let me see. Everything looks so tempting. The way you say that with a slight blush and the way you're looking at us makes me think you're thinking I'm tempting. The cuisine was indeed enticing. The more I examined the menu, the harder it became to make a decision. The pizza looks good, but I want to try this salad too. And there are plenty of drink options too. Wow, you're right, and so many desserts. What should I do? Order dessert first. I groaned, attempting to balance what I wanted to eat with the capacity of my stomach. I mean, it's like you don't want to carry leftovers around. If we were with Clarice, we could share. I wondered how Shelby would feel about that. We rarely ate at such restaurants outside of town, so I wasn't sure if suggesting it would be appropriate. You're married. You've shared bodily fluids. I think you might be okay sharing food. But it's fine, right? We're married, after all. If Shelby didn't like sharing, it was better to find out sooner rather than later. Partially hiding my face behind the menu, I looked over at Shelby. Hey, Shelby, since we're here, why don't we share our dishes? Share? Yeah, it's okay if you don't want to, but I thought it'd be nice to try more dishes, you know? Sharing, huh? Well, that's not a bad idea. I'm sorry, I was a bit taken aback because I usually don't share with anyone. It's a great idea. Let's do that. So we never did it before, just as I thought. Though he hesitated initially, he agreed. I was relieved to see he didn't seem opposed to the idea. I wanted to share many experiences with Shelby now that we were married. I placed the menu flat on the table and we started deciding on what to order. Do you have anything in mind, Shelby? Well, let's see. What do I want to eat? As we looked over the menu together, Shelby seemed indecisive. After a while, he pointed at a few options. I'd like to try this chicken thigh confit. Oh, and this seafood salad, too. The fish are right there, bro! Then let's order those. I want to try this tomato cream spaghetti. So we'll start with those. Yeah, you live in Lost York. I'm assuming the portions are American size. Like, you're gonna eat 3 different dishes? That's a lot. And just to start. And then it's decided, we'll order these 3. Excellent choices! Once we ordered, we took another look around the restaurant. It was filled with couples, some with wedding rings and others that seemed newer and shy. There were also customers who seemed to be friends, but overall there were more couples there than in typical date spots in Lost York. Say, ah! Come on, it's a bit embarrassing to do that here. Aw, but everyone's doing it, right? Indeed, some couples were openly displaying their affection. Wow, this really is a date spot. It was starting to feel more like the island of love it was touted to be. From Cupid's perspective, this was just another form of matchmaking. It wasn't just matchmaking companies. Places like this also had the power to make people fall in love, and I found that quite fascinating. Thank you for waiting. The food we had ordered arrived at our table. Despite the enticing array of dishes before us, something seemed different. It's seafood salad, but there's no shrimp. You're right. That's unique. And the tomato cream spaghetti is squid instead of shrimp. I'm just saying! I don't know why the lobster man doesn't want you to eat shrimp. Do lobsters eat shrimp? Lobsters are basically the cockroaches of the sea. Before, rich people decided it was a rich people food, they were poor people food because they're basically like gutter trash and they just fucking eat everything. They literally eat all the garbage on the bottom of the ocean. Like, they're the bottom feeders. So, like, it's not like, oh, lobsters are... So, maybe he's a shrimp. Maybe that's why they don't have shrimp. Or he's a lobster merman and he only eats shrimp. And so everything that they catch is not allowed to have shrimp on it. I guess it goes to him. He needs the shrimp. Listen, I'm just saying, they pointed out that there's no shrimp and it's weird, so I'm really concerned. So now I've just got to question it and try to fill in the blanks. It was an unusual choice considering tomato cream spaghetti is typically served with mozzarella cheese and shrimp. Really? Why? I'm sorry, I don't want shrimp on my spaghetti. No. Perhaps the restaurant was attempting to liven up a routine menu item. Regardless, it still looked appetizing, and it probably told you on the menu what it came with. Like, the menu wouldn't just say, like, food. You know what I mean? It would say tomato cream spaghetti served with whatever, you know what I mean, with squid and, like, blah, blah, blah. It's as a twist on this take. It would tell you if they decided to jazz it up. It wouldn't come as a shock. You would need to know, because what if you're allergic to squid or some shit, right? That's fine. I get it. They just wanted to point out, like, it's odd so that we think about this. Let's eat. And let's use those serving plates to share. Twirling a forkful of spaghetti, I held it out towards Shelby. Say, What's wrong? Well, the way you want to share is not what I expected. I noticed you've been holding out a serving plate. Oh, I see. That's how you serve. I seen other couples around us were doing the same, so I thought it was acceptable. However, before I could retract my fork, Shelby held my hand in place. No, wait. Huh? Well, it's true that the others around us are doing the same. Maybe just once in my lifetime we can try something like that. I like how he's just like, what? I mean, I get it. She's like, isn't this normal? And he's like, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean... Like, but it's cute that he's not like, oh my god, put it away, girl. But he's like, no, wait. Okay, let's try this, you know? Are you sure? You don't have to force yourself, but it is kind of funny. It's like, you've been here long enough that this is not like, she sometimes acts like an alien who just got here 2 days ago. It's like, you've been here for a few years. I mean, I get it, you've never been in a couple before, but it's like, but you're Cupid, you've observed couples, so like... I want to do this. Shelby looked embarrassed, but he took a bite from my fork anyway. I mean, this would be an awkward thing, you know what I mean? Because, like, you're eating dinner with someone, or you're dating someone, and then you're like, here, take a bite. Like, that is it's not like, oh, let's hold hands or something. It's like, here, I'm gonna feed you. And I get that could be, like, you could be like, no, I'll feed myself, thanks. Or like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take a bite. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be a weird line, like, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, I mean, I don't think I'd be like, oh my god, how dare you? But at the same time, like, if somebody didn't do it, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, they obviously don't love me. They never tried to feed me. You know what I mean? So I feel like the first time someone did that, you'd be like, huh? Oh, okay. Like, exactly like Shelby. Wait, what? Okay, no, wait. It's okay. Shelby looked embarrassed, but he took a bite from my fork anyway. A noise of pleasure escaped him as he chewed. After a short pause, he nodded. It might be true that eating like this feels like it's tastier than usual. Yeah, but do we have to do this for every bite? He closed his eyes in embarrassment after admitting that. Despite his words, he didn't seem to be enjoying the experience. Feeling his embarrassment makes me a bit self-conscious. Still, seeing other couples around us doing the same, I reminded myself we were a newlywed couple. There was no harm in being playful with each other. Thinking you do it for me next, Shelby? Me? I want to give it a try. Please? Just once, okay? Like, he's trying, even though he's awkward. Yay! Here goes. Say, Despite his embarrassment, Shelby cut a piece of chicken thigh confit and offered it to me with a fork. I gratefully took a bite. This comfit is tasty. I see. That's good to hear. Yeah, this is still a bit embarrassing. Despite our initial awkwardness, we continued to feed each other. Oh my god, but like every bite would be, that's a lot. Like, you do it once or twice, like try a piece of this, try this, but then go back to eating normally. Could you, the whole meal would be awkward as fuck. And we attracted curious glances from those around us. I found this playful interaction incredibly enjoyable, and despite Shelby's bashfulness, he seemed to share my sentiment. Before falling in love, neither of us would have engaged in such a display. Love, it seemed, was shifting our values. The atmosphere of this island was also affecting us, and our honeymoon memories would be cherished from start to finish. I'm glad to see she's enjoying it. After finishing our meal, I breathed a quiet sigh of relief. I had worried about whether this honeymoon would be successful, especially considering the stories I'd heard about couples divorcing soon after their honeymoons. Well, I feel like those are people that got remarried too fast. I assumed everything would work out, but I still harbored a fear of her becoming disenchanted with me. See, this makes me feel like we're gonna cheat on him. Like, the whole, like, you know, in the guide, the cheating or whatever, like, I feel like this is gonna happen. Shelby's, I don't know why. The first thing when I read that's exactly what I was expecting. Like, where is it? Where is the warnings? Content warning, yeah. Oh, infidelity, yeah, that basically. So that whole thing is like making me like, when I was coming in, I'm like, yeah, I feel like the infidelity would be happening in Shelby. I don't know why. It's so awful of me. But then it's like he keeps, I don't know, there's little things that keep coming up that make you think that, like this, like, I don't want her to become disenchanted with me. Then the whole thing we keep doing, then there is also, like, listen, we already know in Ryuki's they introduced Rei to be, like, not his rival, because we had no clue that Rei was even into us or whatever, but it was just somebody to make Ryuki feel a little uncomfortable. And then now Shelby's just talking about, I don't want her to become disenchanted, and people keep divorcing and like whatever, and it's like, we're gonna cheat on you with Eli, aren't we? Oh dear God, who might be a lobster for all we know. He does have red hair, that's all I'm saying. Listen. He's a lobster, and apparently we are Yusuke from Persona 5, where we just find lobsters so enticing that we're gonna cheat on our husband Shelby with a lobster man. I mean, Shelby's last name is Snail, for God's sakes. So, like, would it be, like, too, like, beyond expectations to think we might, like, cheat on Snail Man with Lobster Boy? The shit that goes through your mind in this fucking game. This game is weird, so I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Anyway, again, they keep, and they keep, like, I don't know, Eli's playing a bigger part in this, and I'm kind of concerned about the spicy end. So we'll see how it goes, but they gotta do it right. Like, if it's like, oh, he knows, he's like, yeah, no, I know, and she's got a man on the side. But I just feel like it's gonna be, like, at least in Ryuki's spicy end, right? You were like, you might not be into, like, voyeurism like that, but you're like, okay, well, sure. It was all borderline non-consensual because he just showed up and then Ryuki was kind of like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, I didn't agree to the, and then things just happened, right? So you could go in the, like, she didn't really say she was okay with it. But she also didn't, like, there wasn't lines where she was like, no, oh my God, no, we can't, oh my God. And then forced into it type of a thing. Like, hesitant at first, you can still make the decision to be like, yeah, I was hesitant at first, I wasn't sure, but like, all right, yeah, sure, I'm gonna go with it. You know what I mean? So, like, it really just depends on how you look at that situation personally, right? Like, yeah, no, I really don't want to be dating someone and have somebody else watch us do it. That's fucking weird. But, like, for me personally. But, like, for a spiciness, okay. All right, sure, I guess. I still think the little throuple idea would have been better, but whatever. But, like, So, okay, that's kinky and spicy, and it's, you two decide that you're going to have someone watch you because you're going to get off on that or whatever. I don't know how spicy you're going to equal, like, cheating on your husband. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a one-time thing, and then Shelby like goes above and beyond and does crazy kinky things, like wears a lobster costume for you because you cheated on him with a lobster man. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to turn something that is actually very, you know, terrible to being like spicy? You know, I don't know. Questionable. Anyway. However, spending time with her was so comforting, it helped alleviate my concerns until Eli shows. I'm just saying, this game just setting me up for like I I think we should have done all the sweet and spicy ends, like the best ends, and then gone back and done the other ends. Because now I can't go into this and be like, everything's gonna be great. I'm like, I'm looking for all the things that could go wrong here. Like, I don't know. These are supposed to be fun, fluffy, and maybe a little saucy kind of after stories, and I'm like, oh, something's gonna go so bad. For the first time in a long while, I had taken 2 consecutive days off work. Although I felt restless at first, I was now thoroughly enjoying our vacation. He also is such a workaholic that, like, I mean, I could see if he's the one, if the infidelity is coming in this route, I can absolutely see how it plays in. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I like it, but I can see how it plays in. When was the last time I could truly unwind like this? Ever since meeting Spacey, I think I have more time to rest. Taking 2 days off was a rare occurrence for me, so it had been years since I'd last relaxed without work looming in the back of my mind. It was thanks to her that I'd learned how to truly unwind. Even after the honeymoon, I hope to maintain this newfound balance in my life. I owe Eli Omar. I have to revisit this island in the future. Yeah, I feel like that's setting us up for like, ooh, you owe him. It's gonna come back to bite us in the ass. Seeing her so joyous was a sight I yearned to see time and time again. And maybe we could even visit other hotels. I was pulled from my musings by a notification on my phone. I had set it up only to show urgent messages. Email? Sorry, mind if I check it? Go ahead. After asking Spacey, I checked my phone. Oh, speak of the devil, it's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 p.m. here. Like, we live in some kind of weird... Everything that happens here happened but didn't happen, and all is happening succinctly. We are with Shelby here while we are also fighting with Ryuki and Rei and also having sex with the two of them and cheating on Shelby maybe and all the other things that are going to happen because it's always on one day. W-U-N. It's supposed to be Wednesday. Like, I'm assuming. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4 on Wednesday, 8 p.m. time. Like, always! The second of time is all that ever exists here. Anyway, I squinted at the screen of my phone. I know you're stretching. Do you need to go to take a break? I'm trying to get you there. Sender, Eli Omar. I read that as surrender, and I was like, damn already? What the fuck? This guy's aggressive. Surrender, I'm taking your woman. Surrender, I'm taking your woman, sir. That's not a French accent. That's more of a British accent. That's not a really good one either. It's some kind of fancy accent. I have a monocle. Eli Omar was the young vice president who provided us with the opportunity for this honeymoon. I hope you're liking... And he's like, I see you're enjoying your honeymoon. He's like, how do you know? Kick off. He's like, how do you know? He's like, oh, those video cameras in your bedroom, man. I've seen everything. And before returning home, we paid a visit to Mr. Omar's office for a formal greeting. Look how much liquor this motherfucker has in his office. First of all, his office is swanky. I'd marry him. Look at the fucking cool-ass wallpaper back there. Like, that's on the staircase. Like, even though you have the weird wallpaper behind the stair, like, every wall has a different wallpaper. Like, holy fucking shit. That's exactly how I'd love to decorate my house. And then he's got his own fucking cocktail bar back there and his swanky couch. It looks like you could take a nap on it with like the little arms that come around. Oh, hell yeah. Anyway, he had sent an email requesting to meet us. We waited in the reception room, and after a short while, a man appeared. Oh, this is just the reception room! Fuck! I can't even imagine what your office is like! He was tall, with a gentle smile adorning his face, yet his eyes held a sharpness reminiscent of a raptor stalking its prey. And then I feel like that's pertinent, but also how many times in Ryuki's route were we like, I just love his color palette, though. It's fucking beautiful. So, like, you know, I mean, game is going to be like, oh my god, he's going to come chasing after you, and you think that I'm going to be like, no, how dare you? I'm like, well, I mean, okay. So I guess I can't really begrudge the game for maybe making me cheat on Shelby with Lobster Boy over here, because, like, hey, okay. I'm doing it mentally right now. Ah, Jesus. Well, like, I mean, he's pretty, so okay. I'm pleased to meet you, President Snail. I'm Eli Omar. He's just gonna have a normal voice, because I don't remember the voice we gave him in Ryuki's route. It doesn't really matter. God, but his color palette's beautiful. Because everybody else is kind of like bright, or like Shelby's is like toned down, kind of like pastel colors, but like, not quite as light pastels. They're like deeper pastels, but they're still like lighter, brighter, pastel-y colors, and Eli is like dark, rich velvet colors. He's dangerous. That's what happens when you're a lobster. I'm Shelby Snail. Thank you for your invitation. We sat there exchanging smiles and handshakes, and then got down to business, where we have a threesome? It's not really infidelity if your husband's involved, is it? I think it's fine. Listen, are we ever going to get a threesome? Am I ever going to get kind of like a throuple? You kind of set me up to... not like I ever don't want one, but they really set me up for one of Ryuki's spicy ending, and I didn't get it, so, like, now I'm even more invested. Yet an aura surrounded him, hinting at an imminent duel. Oh, yeah, for us. Yeah, okay, I'm here for this. The tension began to affect me, too. And poor Shelby. Could it be because they're both company presidents? Technically, Mr. Omar was the vice president, but he certainly carried himself like a president. Despite being Shelby's secretary and wife, I'd never experienced such an atmosphere, even at dinner meetings with other executives. That's because Eli wants to get all up in your shit. I felt a bit adrift amidst this escalating tension. It's an honor to finally meet you both. God, his color palette. Look at his text box. There's the best. Oh, God, I love these colors. Ugh. The pleasure's all mine. Truly an honor. Were you able to enjoy the island? Absolutely. Thanks to your generous invitation, we savored every moment here. And this place is incredible. We appreciate it. And no need to thank me. I'm just glad you were able to enjoy yourselves. As the handshake ended, Mr. Omar's gaze shifted towards me. Oh, slid over to me sexily. And is this your renowned wife? Renowned? Yes, this is my wife. Pleased to meet you. I'm Spacey Snail. Thank you very much for your wonderful invitation. My, the rumors are true. Miss Snail, you're truly beautiful. Don't flatter me. Keep doing it. I'm indeed envious. You're fortunate to have married such a delightful woman. With an elegant smile, Mr. Omar gently lifted my hand and placed a kiss on the back. Well, he is French, so makes sense. Shelby's like, oh, what do I do? Hey, you're lucky you didn't kiss me on both cheeks. Shelby seemed tense at this, making Mr. Omar chuckle. Excuse me, this is how we greet people in my homeland of France. Yeah, he sounds very French. Joking, because he doesn't have an accent, the way I'm doing it. I had completely forgotten this isn't common in Lost York. As Mr. Omar released my hand, Shelby moved in between us, a silent warning in his stance. I love how, like, Ray shows up, grabs our wrist, and is like, oh my god, your bones are amazing. And instantly Ryuki's like, don't touch our bones, serial killer. The serial killer thing never even occurred to him. He's like, he's in love with you. And you're like, he likes my bones. That's more concerning than I think you're thinking it is. And then, like, this guy comes over and he's like, this guy absolutely, though, is like, he's like, sliding all over like a snake. Hi. Let me kiss your hand, Moshe. Oh, you are so very beautiful. You know what I mean? I kind of, like, listen. I didn't think I'm like, Ray's like just checking out our wrist. Like, if they had set him up to be someone who falls in love with us, which they did, obviously, but like, for the main route, I would have been like, oh, okay. At that point, I was like, nah, I mean, he's just checking out a wrist, which is weird, but he's just being weird. This guy is being like slutty. So like, Shelby, I get your jealousy. This guy's hitting on us. At least I'm gonna read into it, and I'm okay with that. Shelby looks pissed. Shelby seems skeptical, struggling to believe that Mr. Omar had simply forgotten that such a custom was unusual here. Shelby, I'm okay. Yeah. Also, again, like, you're like, it's a little odd, but if somebody did that to you, you'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I whispered to Shelby that he could have done this because it was a place of business. He seemed to calm down a little and nodded. Nah, he's trying to get all up in my skirts. Still, I could see alertness in his eyes. His instincts as a man and as a business owner were kicking in. Indeed, Mr. Omar was someone to be wary of. Ooh. His sharp gaze held a predatory intensity that could unnerve anyone, which is just weird because I don't think lobsters are predators. They're the bottom feeders. So, like, again, and like, or like something to do with shrimp. I doubt he'd be a shrimp, because if you were a shrimp, I think a lobster could take on a shrimp, so okay. But like, I'm just saying. You know? Like, well, don't shrimpies have little claws like lobsters? Is that supposed to be a lobster? Maybe that's a shrimp. It looks like a lobster. Maybe it's a crayfish. Crayfish and shrimp and like lobster, they all kind of look alike. Maybe that's why he doesn't want you to say, shrimp are like my family. I'm a lobster fish, but like a lobster merman. You know what? Like, guys, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck the lobster thing is, and he's got red hair like a lobster after you boil him, you know what I mean? So, but lobsters aren't predators, so like, kind of confused about that one. All right then, shall we discuss the main point at hand? The main point? I hadn't been informed about any specific topic for this meeting. My confused expression prompted Mr. Omar to encourage us both to sit. Mr. Omar held court from across the room, his hands folded neatly on his lap. You are probably aware that Omar Holdings is involved in a multitude of industries. Hotels, restaurants, fashion, beauty products. We're unrivaled in France. Wait, is his necklace also... What's on his necklace? Is it also... It's not really a lobster, but I was like, is it also a lobster? Maybe it's a shrimp. Yes, I'm aware. Thank you. And that's why we're interested in a new venture. The matchmaking business. Oh, I thought you wanted to partner with us. You're going to come in here and try to steal our business? Oh. Matchmaking business? Does he mean to... France is a nation of love. No one there uses matchmaking services. It's a market that's virtually non-existent. Everyone finds love on their own. And by everyone, I mean everyone. So we hope to develop this business in Los York in conjunction with D'Amour Paradis. I was really... I mean, I guess I should have been wary when he came in. It's like, his eyes were predatory and intense. I'm like, this is not how you start a business meeting. Like, hey, what's up, bro? I want a partner. Because, like, by hitting on some other dude's wife, he's like, no. He's like, hey, I'm going to take everything you have, and I'm going to drag you fucking down, bitch. So, should have seen this one coming, I guess. Right now, the Los York matchmaking market is essentially owned by Cupid Corps, and there's no room for any other competitor. Yeah. Rome and Julie wedding? We tanked those motherfuckers. Also, they probably should have reconsidered naming their matchmaking service after two teenagers who offed themselves. Just saying. Because more like a tragedy than a romance. Not really something to aspire to. And we don't want to compete directly with Cupid Corps. We know we can't win against your experience and connections. Are you implying that you're considering acquiring us? Oh! You want to buy us? You know? I feel like in the sweet and spicy end, that's not going to happen, but I wonder if in the spicy end, Shelby will sell out just because it's like, oh, good, I can spend more time with my wife. But then I end up having to be Eli's secretary, and then I'm fucking him behind my husband's back. I'm taking a conference call, if you know what I mean. You know? Exactly. You understand quickly. Acquiring us? He wants to acquire you. Shelby must have predicted this. I struggled to keep pace with the conversation. We were just enjoying our time on Diamor Paradis. We thought they were in an entirely different industry. I naively assumed we'd be able to collaborate on some promotional venture. It never occurred to me they were considering a takeover. You kind of have to be willing to sell. So that's why we were invited here. Yes, we wanted you to understand the scope of our business, to assure you that your company would be well taken care of. You underestimate us. No, quite the opposite. We have great respect for you. You built up Cupid Core at such a young age while keeping it on track for growth. We're impressed with your abilities. However, it's far from stable. Despite this, you continue to maintain the illusion of being a committed husband, even if it meant lying. He's like, well, okay, you got me there. How did he know that Shelby had been covering to maintain this lie by Duff from the ad agency? Coerced. How did he know that Shelby had been coerced into maintaining this lie by Duff from the ad agency? I can't say lobsters are shady beings, because they live on the bottom of the ocean, so in the shadows, I guess, but it's not, none of these analogies are flying with it's like if you were a snake man or something, I'd be like, snakes are shady, it's like popular in literature and like whatever and entertainment that, oh, you're a snake, if their mascot is a lobster, so I'm trying to find the lobster connection here. So I don't really get that, like, lobsters are snippy, they got sharp little claws that snip at you. Probably break your fucking finger off, I would assume. That's why they have rubber bands on them when you get them from the store. I was gonna say the pet store. When you get them from the grocery store, if you're gonna buy. We used to have lobster bakes a lot. My dad had a pot for lobsters. He would do mussel steamers and lobsters. Like, this was not like a thing that we did not like. We did it a little too fucking often. I never really liked that lobster that much as a kid. I like the tails better than the claws, to be fair. No, I like the claws better than the tails. The tails are what everybody wants. Oh, they're but I don't know why I always liked the claws better when I was younger. Anyway, but he would go to the grocery store and you would pick out your lobsters and you would bring them home, and they would a lot. And it's kind of traumatic because you chuck them in a boiling pot alive. It's kind of like the only food that you just murder on your own, Because I don't live on a farm. My aunt and uncle had a farm, so like he used to, they'd have animals, steer and pigs, and they would do that themselves. You know what I'm saying? Make their own. No, but like it's not like you go to the store and you're like, I'm gonna pick out a fish and then I'm gonna kill it myself. I don't go fishing. I don't want to do that. So like the only thing we'd ever when you get meat from the store, it's already dead. You know what I mean? You're not like, I'm gonna take this cow home and then go slaughter it in the backyard and then process it yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you know where it comes from, but you don't have to kill the cow yourself. So like the lobster bakes and things like that, it's like, you're taking this poor little creature. Not that it was ever great because we'd play with them beforehand. So you'd take them out and let them crawl around in the garage. Sometimes we'd let the cats look at them and then the cats are like, the fuck is this thing? But anyway, the point was they have rubber bands around their claws because their claws are very sharp and like they're strong. So like, you know what I mean? It's to protect you. But so that was my analogy there, is that he would just snippy little claws. But anyway, point being, it's not because he's a lobster fish man, whatever. That it's the fact that he's fucking rich. He's got connections. He can buy this information. Come on. The vice president of a massive French company was up to date on events in Lost York. Yeah, money talks. Cupid Core has enormous potential. With our financial backing, it could become an even greater company. Mr. Armour then presented Shelby with some paperwork detailing the proposed acquisition of Cupid Core. My bird is just sleeping on my leg. but he is pressed against, like, my index finger and thumb, the way my hand's sitting, and it's just... You're snuggling, but you're just snuggling with my one finger. It's so ridiculous. This is our proposal. You've come prepared. We've been watching you since Diamore Parodies opened. We believe this offer is more than fair. Shelby silently perused the offer. The figure proposed was staggering. What is he going to do? No amount of money could diminish the value of Cupid Core to us. I watched anxiously as Shelby examined the documents, his gaze intense. Finally, he closed the packet and set it back on the table. And this offer is unacceptable. I see. You must really believe in your company. It's not a belief. It's an objective evaluation. In that case, what if we offered 5 times the initial amount? Jesus! This man, I mean, this is why he gets information. This motherfucker is not afraid to throw money at everything. I kind of love it. He can throw money at me. I will be your biggest problem. Throw money at me to fix it. Just saying. 5 times? The proposed figure was already massive, but 5 times that amount? I gawked at the mind-boggling figure, but Shelby remained stoic. Why not start your own company if you're willing to spend so much? We've considered that, of course. However, it would be a shame to drive Cupid Core out of business. So you assume that if you were to start your own company, you could crush us? That's presumptuous. Do you honestly believe you could compete against Omar Holdings? Yeah, I married Cupid, so yeah. Mr. Omar responded with a patronizing laugh, although I'm not Cupid anymore, so. I'm not foolish. I'd rather leverage what you've built than wage a pointless war. You're squandering a good opportunity. If I were in charge, Cupid Core could become a global company. Shelby and Mr. Omar's eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Breaking the tense silence, Mr. Omar softened his gaze and smiled. In any case, remember that we highly value your company. We'll make it worth your while. Soon you'll realize that accepting our offer is in your best interest. Unfortunately, Vice President Eli, I've brought what you requested. Shelby and I were stunned by the newcomer. Oh, it's Owen! Oh, no wonder they got dirt! I swear to God, in the thing when he was sure that it wasn't, didn't Owen, like, come, like, to attack, wasn't he possessed or something, like, that's the only, because I don't think he, like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on my own merry way. I feel like, especially here, if he's working for Eli, then it's like, it was like a bad break. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm just gonna move on, you know? Owen? President Shelby. Owen seemed just as surprised to see us. Eli knew what he was doing. Let me introduce my loyal subordinate, Owen Harriet. It's been a while. What are you doing here? When I heard about his talent, I welcomed him to our company. I could tell he regretted his past mistakes. Okay, so yeah, that was... Okay, Owen. And the gun. Omar Holdings will continue to grow. You should understand that being acquired isn't necessarily a bad thing. Owen's over there like, I was acquired. That's all right. Shelby returned Mr. Omar's gaze with steely determination, pushing the proposal back towards him. Yeah, I just have a feeling this is going to end up with us cheating with him for some reason. Like, he's trying to buy Shelby's company, and in the end he's going to, like, maybe somehow buy out Cupid Core and get his wife, you know? But that feels like a bad ending, not a spicy ending. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the offer, but I have no intention of selling. I reject your offer. But think of the time you could spend with your wife if you were free from your responsibilities. Didn't you enjoy your honeymoon? It's like, I know you did. I have the cameras set up. My wife understands me. The amount of times we spend together isn't the most important thing. It's the understanding and connection we share. This is definitely going to be the infidelity one, isn't it? Because of just all of this and everything he said, and it's just going to be a slap in the face later when you're like, oh, everything Shelby said, and then, oh, guys, just... Let's go. Yeah, so I think the whole unexpected event. I think the whole Shelby with a gun thing wasn't Owen threatening us, but I think he was possessed or something, right? Like, I don't think he was like acting like himself because I remember being like, oh my God, Owen, what the fuck is my. Oh, my fucking mouse died. Well, anyway, it's all right. We're gonna wrap up here. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.